Okay, welcome back. Before we get started, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, I hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. Unfortunately, there is a lot of people um, that is unfortunate to have food on the table or to have a roof over their head. So, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. So, let's get into it. All right, welcome back. All right, so let's just jump right into it. All right, so it's the 4th of July weekend, and a lot of people out here are homeless. You know, you have a lot of veterans. Um, you have a lot of people that are living out of their vehicles. I was just at Walmart today, and while I was exiting my vehicle, a young lady, um, she was probably in her 30s, or for me, I thought she was in her 30s or her upper 30s or mid 30s, if you want to put it that way. But she came up to me and she asked me if I could buy her some food. Now, when I looked over, I can see that it's like she had like a makeshift curtain inside of the vehicle because that's the direction that she had came from, and she had the door open. So she was explaining that she was down on her luck and that she got evicted from her house. Some situation she was saying it like that, but she didn't ask for money. She just asked for food. And so, of course, I went in Walmart and told her to just to pick some food that will last, probably non-perishable food, something like those little maybe something in a can you can peel open, basically whatever. So I spent about $35-40. So I asked her, I was like, well, do you have any family members you can call? And she said she has a cousin coming up from down south to pick her up. But she said she's been camping out at Walmart parking lot for approximately almost 2 weeks now. I'm not sure. I didn't get into all the details on why she didn't go to a shelter or this or that, but she said she was down on her luck and that she got evicted, possibly from losing her employment or whatever. But that's not the case. The whole case was the young lady said she was hungry. You have a lot of people out here that cannot afford the food. You have a lot of veterans that's homeless. It's another gentleman that I usually make my rounds in that area, and he has a little tent near the supermarket. And every time I see him, he's in a wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair, so I usually give him go in Wise, get a sandwich, and give him a couple of dollars. But that is something that I do. So if you have extra supplies and you see people out there on the street, it's nothing wrong with maybe giving them some food. Ask them when the last time they have had a decent meal. You got to thank God that you are fortunate that you're not in that situation, that you're still able to provide for your family. That being said, let's move on. All right. So it's hurricane season. The governor of Pennsylvania issued a warning to all Pennsylvanians that they should get ready for hurricane season. That means that you should try to seek he said you should try to seek some kind of flood insurance. A lot of people in Pennsylvania or around the surrounding states do not have flood insurance. It's not the same as homeowners insurance. Flood insurance is totally separate. You guys need to invest in that if you're in a flood prone area. Also, if you have a sump pump, you may want to check Check the battery if you have that type of system, where if you're out of town, you have a battery that will back up, a backup system. You might want to check that battery or get that deep cycle battery replaced. Also, most sump pumps, when they fail, the switch usually goes bad. The switch usually goes bad. They do sell the universal switches where you can pick it up from the hardware store. So I suggest that you go out and try to have a spare on hand. You want to have, if you have a battery, if you have that system, you want to have a battery on hand, or get your deep cycle battery checked. Most people just don't realize that some pumps need maintenance. They need to be checked, you know, because you never know when you're going to go on vacation and you get that heavy rain pour and you come back and your whole basement is flooded. So try to check your sump pump, you know. All right. So let's switch up a little bit. All right, let's save that for last. Also, I don't really get too political, but this is, you know, something I wanted to talk about. You know, the Biden administration is going to send another package over there to Ukraine. I have nothing against Ukraine, but when you have Americans and you have people hungry, inflation hitting, they are going to send another $860 million worth of weapons, vehicles. You know, this is the 14th package round that they're sending. Okay, so far, the Biden administration has sent $6.9 billion in supplies. You know, I was reading, I don't know if anybody follows the UN as far as the food crisis, but I think one of the head of the UN back in 2021 was saying that 3% of Elon Musk's wealth, roughly $6 billion, can help world hunger. You know, something in that nature. That's roughly about 45 million people that they were saying that $6 billion can feed. Think about that. They just sent $6.9 billion in roughly 6 months. You know, we got people living in tents in California. You know, people can't even afford food. You know, inflation is running rampant. It's just amazed me. Also, that being said, I was reading another news article that some of these weapons that they're sending over there to Ukraine are on the black market. You know, we're talking about night vision goggles. We're talking about those new Switchblade drones that are on the black market. We're talking about anti-tank, what are these, Stinger missiles. So it's a lot of those weapons that are being sold on the black market. Who is distributing all these supplies once they get there? $6.9 billion. And they said they're not going to stop. They're going to keep on keeping that fire burning. You know? It's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. You know, you got people in America that can't even afford food. The price, I mean, the cost of rent is rising. You know, it is just unbelievable, man. People are getting laid off. They're being laid off from their jobs. Stores are closing. So it's just, man, it's just backwards to me. You're going to send $6.9 billion. Hey, who knows? Also, when you guys go out, you know, you want to be mindful. Carjacking is on the rise. You know, I'm seeing a lot of reports coming in. I'm reading these news articles, man. I'm watching videos that people are getting carjacked. In some states, Houston, Atlanta, all over. These guys are following people, jumping out at those gas stations. I'm talking about with semi-long rifles. We ain't talking about just, walking up that broad daylight. People are being carjacked. It is on the rise. The city I was in Maryland, Baltimore, really. What they do. This is what was going on down there. Driving, and so that if you have out of town plates, or you can have the regular state plates, they would bump your car. You would have a car, that would deliberately bump you like you were in an accident. Then once you get out, when you get your information, that's when they're going to try to rob you. So it was a lot of that taking place. So be mindful when you are stopping at these gas stations, or if you are traveling and you want to get some gas in town, because people will follow you and carjack you. That was real popular in that city. They will bump you, and then they will jump out. You thinking you're going to fill out an insurance report, then they rob you. So you got to be mindful that in your mirrors, like I said, you got to keep your head on a swivel, especially when you go into these inner cities and you're not from that area. You think you're going to fill up at a BP, you think you're going to fill up at an Exxon, and you wind up getting carjacked. And whatever you do, just comply. Don't even try to resist. Just give up the material. You can have that replaced. You don't want to sit there and be Rambo and get yourself all jacked up. So, man, you got to be careful out there, man, when you out there traveling. So make sure you guys checking your generators and stuff like that. It's hurricane season. Please do not put that E15 fuel in your generators. If you can, put a non-ethanol gas inside your generators or your small engines equipment. You don't want to put that 15% ethanol in your vehicles. In your small generator, also in your vehicles. You don't want to do that because that will jack your car up. It has more ethanol in it. So if you do use a 87, which has 10% ethanol in it, you want to put yourself an additive or so in it, like a fuel stabilizer. You want to get those generators out. It's hurricane season. You do not want to be caught with your basement flooded. Go out there and get yourself a submersible pump. These are the things that, if you're prepping, you should have on hand if you are in a prone flood area. You want to get the stuff so you don't have to keep traveling out or calling a repairman or somebody to clean up a flood. You want to catch it before, or you want to be prepared for it when it happens. So just be mindful when you're traveling. Also, if you can, try to donate to your local food banks. A lot of people out here need that food. If you can, a canned good here and there. So that's all I have for now. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching.